So today's session is evaluating ROIs. I heard from a friend in the industry that one of the most vital skills in real estate is to remain calm. So how do you do this? I guess you minimize the unknown, right? You control what you can. So as we discussed in the prior courses, you set up your business by choosing the right entity. You've siloed your business accounts from your personal accounts, and you've learned how to track your expenses. So now you have to figure out how your money works for you. You have to know how your tools work for you. So Joe, Brenna, where do we start? How do we do this?
Let's kick it off.
Yeah, like Serena mentioned, an important part of minimizing the unknown is knowing how our money is working for us. So when we're talking about return on investment, for most real estate agents, we're referring to the return that we're getting on our expenses. How much revenue is our business expenses generating? One of our previous sessions covered tracking your business expenses. And we discussed the importance of doing so, but we didn't really get too specific. So Joe, can you go into a little more detail on this? Like what expenses are the most important for real estate agents specifically to be tracking and analyzing, and how often should they be doing that?
Sure, thanks, Brenna. Yeah, these expenses, the most important ones are going to be really for a real estate agent, every single one. You know, the expenses you want to take a look at and evaluate which ones are there that generate revenues for you. That's basically the return on your investment. Your investment is yourself. So what you want to do is take a deep dive cyclically into your expenses. You could do this every other month or once a quarter. And what you want to do is work through the large bucket of expenses that you have. Like marketing expense, that's a large bucket of expenses. It's very broad. All the marketing expenses go into there, but then you can look deeper into there and figure out what's in marketing. Well, that comprises of your direct mailers, the print brochures for certain things, the magazine ads that you have going out in certain demographic areas, lead generation apps and Zillow ads. So you look at those different categories within the marketing expenses. You know, meals, you have meals with clients, and then you have company events or seminars that you might put on for some of your best clients that you're meeting with. And dues and subscriptions, maybe networking groups or other dues for organizations that you're members of. Perhaps you have meetings at that organization with some potential clients or your best clients. And computer and software apps is another category. Those are a lot of the main categories that you can segregate those expenses and look into those different expenses. Hope I explained that somewhat well.
Yeah, great. So we're really focusing on, I think you focused a lot there on expenses that fall into the marketing category, which obviously you said is very broad. But that tends to be the biggest investment for real estate agents, at least that we see, on our side of things. And so now that we're sorting those marketing expenses into more specific buckets, that's great. But how do we know from there which of those expenses, which avenues of marketing are actually generating the revenue for us?
No, right. You currently have some sort of mechanism by which you can survey your inbound leads. You can send out a survey and ask them, where did you find, me as a real estate agent to help you. What brought you or drew you to my services? You know, to determine what kind of market that you're targeting and compare that with the actual leads that your marketing strategies are generating. So this survey that you can send out, if you don't have one, you should have one, so that you can understand these new clients which are coming to you, where they're coming from. How do they hear from you? Is it mostly from referrals, or is it because of the mailers that were out there? Or if it's due to Zillow or Instagram or other types of media advertising or ads that you're putting out there. So when you ask these new clients these questions, you can determine where these clients are coming from, and then that would help you better analyze which marketing expense is working for you. And then you can make a better choice on where you want to put those dollars. Where do you want to make those expenses, so then you're getting a better return on that investment. So you're gonna pay for this marketing service. And the whole point of the marketing service is you're going to get a return. You're gonna get a client, you're gonna get revenues because you closed the deal. So you wanna make sure that you're not putting, spending money on marketing that's, number one, bringing clients to you that you're not really in the market for. And then number two, it helps you understand where you should be funneling those advertising or marketing dollars. If you're getting a whole bunch of clients and people coming up to you that want to buy single wide mobile homes, and you're trying to sell multi-million-dollar single family houses, then the marketing is not in the right place. Your funds are not going to the right marketing scheme. So you need to, number one, adjust that, or number two, adjust what marketing company or the way that your marketing is being adjusted, and how you're advertising, how it's getting out to those people and who it's going out to. You want to make sure that your demographics match what your target niche of clients base is going to be. So that's what this analysis can do. It also helps with some of the other aspects that we mentioned. When you analyze your expenses, doing this dive also helps us understand if we're paying twice for two different people or two different things to cover the same thing. We don't want to pay for two different lead generation apps that are generating the same leads.
And I think that also, Joe, speaks to the importance of why we say to do this, monthly or at least quarterly, analyzing your expenses, because it's a lot easier to make corrections when you're looking back, every month or every couple months on where you're spending your money, to make those adjustments and to make those corrections that we're talking about, rather than if you just do it once at the end of the year, trying to go back. It's too late at that point to, course correct for that year. And so I think that's another important thing to note there.
Right, but now reviewing the expenses and, accumulating, categorizing the expenses are two different things. You want to keep up with the categorization of the expenses on a monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly at the longest. But then the analysis, I think if you do an analysis each month, that may be too frequent, because that's not enough time for you to understand if an expense is actually generating some revenue or potential deals for you. That's why I think maybe 2 months, stretch it out once a quarter. So then that does give a little bit of time for the, like, for instance, marketing to get into effect and make some sense there.
Right, great. Thanks for the clarification. That makes a lot of sense. So I guess in addition to tracking, categorizing, and then analyzing our expenses, we're ultimately just trying to track how we're generating our revenue and how we can ultimately generate more revenue. So what else should we keep in mind, Joe, with regards to our expenses?
Yeah, I think with our expenses, we want to be reasonable with what we are expensing. And be cognizant of where we are as a company. In the beginning, we're an infant side of our company. We're gonna have a lot of lead generation, a lot of upfront type of expenses to build the company and grow. And then as you become more experienced and your network is more established, then you're gonna be building off of transitioning from the initial growing stage expenses, and then getting more in line with the branding and expanding the network type of expenses. And so then you'll find out that as time goes on over the years, what you're spending your money on is going to change from one stage of the life cycle of the company, the initial stage, and then kind of the mature and the plateau area. You might not spend as much on lead generation. There may be more marketing expenses, and not the cultivation, but the expansion of the network that you already have. Like, you might, as you build out this network and you have this existing client base of referrals and client listing that you have, you can put your client listings in a couple of categories. One category being the clients that are going to refer me and refer a lot of business to me. And you want to keep a good list of those individuals, and you want to make sure that you spend a lot of time with them, marketing with them, and connecting with them on a bi-monthly basis at least, or more. So your marketing expense could be more about meeting with those individuals with meals or other types of business gifts and so forth, as opposed to lead generation costs and marketing brochure mailings costs. So depending on where you find that you've received a lot of deals and revenues from, that's going to be the area that you're going to focus on to be able to continue that revenue generation and keep the machine running.
So I think Joe and Brenna summed it up excellently. If anyone missed our tracking our expenses segment, you can certainly go back to that recorded session and get some background. We talk more in depth about expenses and how tracking, what programs you can use to track, and what categories you should really be looking for. It doesn't seem like anybody has any questions that we can address, but feel free to reach out if anything comes up. And I think that's it, guys. Yeah,
Yeah, we just want to stress that you guys are, you're investing in yourselves. So just, you want to make sure that you get a good return on your investment. And, the stock market and investing are great ways for long-term, but you're not going to find, the next Apple. Everybody's looking for the next Apple. But just realize that you yourself, you are the next Apple. So you want to put your investment into yourself, make sure that you are looking at your expenses and you're analyzing this so that you can make good choices, good decisions, so that you can be the next Apple. You believe in yourself, you have it in you to be able to blow up, just blow yourself up and get all the good deals and expand your business. And that's where you're going to get the biggest return. And, being able to analyze these expenses is how you would be able to look at and analyze your return on investment. And that would be so much better than investing in other companies. I'm not saying not to do that, but I want to say, if you're looking for a home run, look inside yourself and jump on the plan to review your investments. Well,
Awesome.
review your investments, which are your expenses that you have for your business.
correct. All right, I don't see any
We've
questions.
got Ryan. Ryan, do you have anything here? I saw Jessica jump in and jump out. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I'm good, Joe. Sorry, jumped on late, was finishing up another situation, so sorry for running late, but I'll look forward to hearing the recording.
Awesome.
All right, well, if you have any questions, great, you have I think our information to be able to reach out and contact us.
All right, awesome. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy holidays.